I think we would like to create something which is a movie talks about identity. We would like to creating a very contemporary story, and when we started to talk about it, we end up of a three-generation story, and we go back to the past as well. So basically, the movie is about how we trespassing traumas in between generation and how we can create different answers by the same trauma. That was the basic idea, and that's why we are creating this triptych structure.
I think we really wanted to make a story about personal history, which means we don't want to talk about the past but the present. But of course, the present has a lot of relations to the past. And we wanted to talk about people who have a kind of really interesting relation with their ancestors, but they do not know what exactly it is. So it's a kind of like stories about hidden things, invisible things, things that you don't know why they have a lot of consequences on your life. You don't know what it is, but it has their consequences on you and your life. And I think it's a really fragile topic, and evolution is a good title because you have a lot of references, you know, within the past, but you don't know what it is exactly, and you have to figure out in order to understand who you are. We moved to Germany with our kids, and it was really interesting how complex this issue is in Germany right now. And it's really a lot of contradictive things you can feel and understand, and we wanted to somehow like summarize it with this story. All these contradictions, so there is no like right or wrong, there is no one message, there is no one perspective, but a really personal kind of thing where you feel all these forces which, you know, affect the person's life.
And we did a big research. I mean, the research phase was longer than the script writing phase. And then we learned of the contradictions from the different communities, the German majority and Jewish minority, the Islam minority, and just understanding what's sensitive or why it's so difficult and complex and contradicted now today in Berlin. But I assume it's more like also a big city syndrome. I think every big city has a little bit the same, and it affects our kids' identity and how they can build and how they can find their identity, not just follow the way which is already like a one-way road by the politicians, by the community, but they are still free, and that's what is questioning in the third part of the movie.
De miért kellett emlékeztetni magunkat a mérkőzésre?
Ez az igazság, hát most
Neked ez az igazság, igen, mama, neked ez az igazság.
I think this is the major thing, like you need to get rid of this kind of stigma somehow, but you have to choose your very own, very truthful path in order to reach this, that you can really get rid of this. So I think that was the main idea, exactly like how to live without having this kind of stigma on you, and how to get rid of it in the most beautiful way is through love and through relationships to other people, because that is so pure, and that is something that can justify, you know, somehow to leave your heritage, or not leave it, but like, yeah, put it in a more positive perspective, let's say.
Nem túlélő akarok lenni, mama, hanem élő.
Mi szerencsések vagyunk, ugye? Szerencsés.
Even if it's a very sensitive and naive and innocent way to tell these last sentences in the movie, but it's a true belief from our side. I think there is a generation who is not affected yet, and it's our responsibility what we give. We give the evolution of hate, or we give an evolution of live together. And yeah, that's what we are thinking on. But also I have to admit that it's the most non-fictional movie of ours. So all of the stories are coming from real life. Everything is also what is in the present chapter as much as the 2 chapter in the past. And which all that means, this is a reflection also on our reality. For me, was an important as a director that it's personal memory. We don't want to talk about history. We want to talk about memory. We want to talk about personal memory. So in the first chapter, it's all about the trauma. It's and one miracle, one children survive. But in the same time, you know, it's not on reality. It's more like someone's mind, inside someone's mind. And then we know whose mind is that, the mother's mind. And she is in a slight dementia. She started to forget things, and her truth is just her personal truth. And that's create the conflicts also between the mother and the daughter. And the daughter really don't want to hiding anymore, don't want to be a survivor anymore. And what she gave to the kid of hers, it's not working that much. So that's the contradiction somehow in between the 3, and how you go backwards is more and more blurry, as with history usually. I mean, it's optimistic or not. I think we would like to tell, the innocent doesn't work, or the youth doesn't work on this way. They don't know those codes. They don't go into the one-way roads. But in the same time, when you're watching the ending of the movie, that kiss, you feel like, don't do it. It makes trouble. But in the same time, do it. You have the truth. You have to do this. So, I mean, this is somehow, that was a little bit what we would like to explain. And I don't know, it's positive or negative, but what I definitely know, this is a little bit our responsibility, what we gave to the next generation. Also as a filmmaker, but also as just a family member or a father.
Itt van a nagymama anyakönyvi kivonata? Akkor ez igazi?
Úgy igazi, hogy hamis, nem tudom.
But also I think it's about understanding. Like, you know, we spend a lot of time on understanding someone's perspective, and I think it's so important. It can be challenging, but it means you really try to understand another person's and all the ambiguity around the topic. And it's not like, you know, just a sentence or one really dramatic scene. It's about all those little tiny things that makes someone's life and perspective. So I think it's all about how we can relate to each other a little bit, like a lesson about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we was not even sure the second part, when it's tons of dialogues, it's good to filming or not. I mean, it's just like an anti-movie, right?
Yeah.
But in the same time, we felt, but we can give back the complexity of 2 persons like this way. We have to do it this way.
And it's also somehow a memento for all the people that we're losing right now. I mean, you have the last survivors, you know, who can talk about this period of life. So I think it was also very important. This has to be done in order to express something about the future.